Hi guys. Okay, so I'm gonna give everybody a moment to kind of pop over to this one and see if you guys can find me. I apparently started new software and it did not work effectively. So I'm gonna give everybody a chance to get over to this one and bear with me. This won't happen after today because I'm gonna have to figure out what it is that I actually have done here. Oh my gosh, it is like the craziest thing. Um, so I am definitely trying to figure this out. All right. And then this video here, where you guys see me at. Hang on one second. Just trying to make sure that, um, gosh, and I have everything so organized and ready to go. So it is public. All right, guys. So let me see if you guys can. Let me see if I can get to where you guys are commenting on. All right. All right. So we are here. So I see everybody's watching. I'm just making sure that you guys can see me. I can't see the comments now, unfortunately. I'm trying to let's see. Trying to see. Why is it saying that the chat is disabled? Oh my God, this is driving me insane. No. Oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. Why is it telling me that? Oh my gosh. So you guys are not able, it's like I'm not able to, are you guys able to see me at this moment? Let me ask Mary what's going on. What? This is gonna be like the worst ever. Oh my God. This is a conspiracy. Um, it is, I know it's saying no chat bar. Oh my God, this is ridiculous. Setting. All right, guys, are you able? Let's see if I'm able to chat now. All right, I think I got it. Hang on. All right, guys, tell me if you guys can see chat now. All right. All right. So for those that are on lunch, I am so sorry. You guys probably have like totally missed your lunch break. So I okay, so I just literally wasted like 30 minutes playing with technical difficulties. I changed my software to live stream with you guys. Just trying to get better. And so, what I need you guys to do is just all join in over here. So, hey Don, hey Shelly, hey Misty, and I am going to make this a little bit bigger here. And so now I just need to know, can you guys hear me good? Okay. Oh my God, Lizzie is about to scream. All right. Terry Nursery, Krim Wolf, and I hope that I don't forget the topic now. It was buyer's remorse, and so now I have to go back and just change everything on it. Oh my God, this is crazy. But all right. So I'm gonna give everybody a little bit of time to go ahead and get over to us, and in the meantime, I am going to. Oh my gosh! So it's Rose. Hey Rose. Krim Wolf. Misty. Dawn. Mary. Loving my reborn. Lisa. Hello everybody. Like I said, I do apologize for everything being so unorganized. I did have it organized originally, but. Things just got crazy. So let's just jump right into it, and you guys can catch up if you're just getting over to this. My topic is buyer's remorse, and I wanted to talk about this. I have had a couple people like contact me about different situations that they've had over the past few weeks. I'm not going to go in specific situations or mention those people's name. I'm just going to generalize it and talk about basically my experience too. Hey, Asha, love and hug to you too. And so I'm going to be discussing these things. I will be kind of Hi Ruth, I will be reading the chat bar as well, so I may get a little off topic. So I did bring notes this time so that I can stay here. So the first thing I want to talk about is, first of all, please understand that buyer's remorse is totally separate from getting a purchase that wasn't as described or have defects or something to that nature, as in regards to that's sort of totally different from buyer's remorse. Buyer's remorse is simply just um, you just don't like it once you got it in person, or B, um, you just bought it and you changed your mind. Um, so there are a couple things, and I'm going to go over the top three. Number one is maybe you bought outside your comfort zone, and you feel bad that you've done that. Hey, T Chambers, and then two is one that I'm going to go a little bit in depth on, and that is impulse buying. So I do want to talk about that. That is one of the number one things that I personally do with buyers and have buyer's remorse afterwards. That kind of happened with me with Chandler. I saw the baby, loved him, and wanted him. And although I was really craving to have a silicone baby in my collection, a new silicone baby in my collection, I thought that that would kind of suppress that hunger for the new doll. So I bought something in return. Um, Hey, Miss Amanda, baby, thank you. So what I did is I bought on impulse. A lot of times when we buy like immediately just because we can and just because we see something right away with no thought behind it, we tend to get the baby or whatever the product may be. Like for instance, it could be a computer, but in this case, I'm going to speak on babies. You get the baby, and all of a sudden, it's not what you really wanted. Or it was just like, okay, yeah, it's cute, I love it, and hey, I got the money, it's a good price, I'm gonna buy it. And you buy it, and then you get it home, and it's not something that you had on your wish list per se. We'll get into that part later. um And and I got a surprise baby, didn't come like she said. Now it just sits in a corner, never again. Yes. So then, okay, so that's like different from buyer's remorse. That is like something like as not described. We'll talk about that later. But the um so impulse buying is number one. And then the other thing is that I'm going to go even a little further into that I wanted to make sure that I get into is the judging. And when I say judging, it means, okay, you buy this baby, you're totally in love with it. You get the baby, you take it out, or you show it to a friend or family, or even on your YouTube channel, and you get these ugly comments or people saying things about the doll that you fell in love with and adored, and all of a sudden you begin to go second guess your thought. Maybe she isn't that great. Maybe he isn't that great. Maybe I don't want it. Yeah, maybe I spent too much money. And then it's like, and then it's like all of a sudden you're feeling bad about your purchase. Now you're having buyer's remorse. Which is one of the reasons why sometimes when I have a baby that I really, really adore, and I know it's a little different from, the popular thing that's out in the community or whatever, I keep it in my private collection because I don't want the judging and I don't want to second guess what I love. It takes time for you to get to a point where you don't let that judging part affect you and cause buyer's remorse. Hi, Sally. Sally's, I impulse buy as well. I am also trying to figure out why and to stop it. Okay, so I am going to get into the preventing of that. I'm going to tell you guys that it's very high on, very, very high uh, on social media to have the judgment that will cause you to have buyer's remorse because number one, like I told you guys before, there are a lot of hateful women out here and there's a lot of bitter women and there's a lot of jealous hearted women that don't seem to understand that everything happens in a season and that their season will come, and since their season is not here yet, they don't want you to have yours either. So they want you to have the lesser doll or something that they, if they feel like you're getting something that they can't afford, they're going to shoot it down every time so that you don't have it, because they don't want you to outshine them in their little heads. So the judging comes, the negative comments come, even the videos come, and they will throw things out to try to deter you from obtaining your dream baby or something that you really want. So I'm here to let you guys know, please, whatever you do, buy within your own heart and passion and don't let anyone discourage you from what you want and what you desire. And a question I'm going to answer with buyer's remorse, which can come from this. And so the question is, do you think people buy lots of babies just to have the box openings on here and then regret it? Absolutely. There are people that are struggling and striving so hard to gain subscribers and become YouTube famous that they will do almost anything to get to that point. And if they think that getting baby after baby will grow their channel, they will do that and get the baby and realize that they don't even really like it, and then it goes back up for sale. Um, Now, one of the things I do want to address on once I'm going to go into that after I talk about things that you can do to prevent from buyer's remorse. Um, but I want to read one more comment. There are always going to be people that will say negative about your baby because they don't like them. Like my mom thinks my Romy baby looks like dead babies and they are creepy. LOL. And people, I really hate when people say that, hey, my reborn sunshine, I haven't seen you in a while. I hate when people say that they look dead. That is like the worst thing that you can tell somebody. Like maybe lifeless. I mean, the word dead alone just like is a killer. So the um and I am trying very hard, but it's very hard because I'm very opinionated and my channel is kind of built on my opinions. So I know people call me the dog critic. but I'm trying very hard not to like tear down someone's doll completely. It's usually for me, it's not a personal attack. I'm just like reviewing the dolls as I see them for my preference. And but I do, I can understand that. And then I've seen reborn kids I want to purchase to reborn, and then I can't bond or feel close with the baby, and then end up trying to find the right baby. Um, and I am actually gonna that I am working on another dog now. The other thing is, let me get back to my notes so I don't, because I'm like losing my train of thought. Um, so another thing that can cause buyer's remorse is chasing brand names or chasing a popular baby because someone else has it and you want to be in the clique or on in that group, so to speak. Constructive Jordan Reborns and Friends said constructive criticism is not a bad thing. I believe on the art aspect. Love it. Absolutely, you're right. And so one of the things is like a lot of people, like say for instance, I'm a big Claire Taylor fan, and that's no secret. But when I go looking for a baby, believe it or not, I don't just go. Oh my gosh, what did I do? Believe it or not, I don't just go search just Claire Taylor dolls when I'm looking for a new doll. I look at all dolls, all of them, even the ones that I may not be particular about the artist style. I look at all the dolls when I'm looking. I don't limit myself to one particular artist because, like I stated before, just because I believe that Claire Taylor is number one in the actual craft itself, for me, as far as AA painting and the quality and the sculpting is for me. I don't um I don't go just looking particular just for her babies, only because I don't like every baby that she makes, if that makes sense. And plus I am a person that like collecting more in rare form, so I like the smaller editions and stuff like that. I did go out on a limb and I did get the Gabigail because it was an affordable partial baby, and I do love partials. And I knew it was going to be 30 of them, so I know it's going to be many that look similar to her, etc., etc. But I did that. But I had no buyer's remorse because I know what I'm looking for and what I like. Um, but if you go chasing just a brand in particular, you will end up buying a sculpt that you're not happy with once you get it home, and that can cause buyer's remorse. And one of the things that you don't want to do is one of thank you, Marie Meyer. And so when you share your options, you're fair. Um, one of the things that I lost my train. Oh my god, I lost my train. Um, I had buyer's remorse um with not really Chandler, and it wasn't because he wasn't beautiful. It was because of the fact that at the time I really shouldn't have spent the money, and I was just doing it because I was in between getting babies. How do you know that you have buyer's remorse? Is if you have a baby and you get it and you feel like would you do it all over again? No. Then if you their answer is no, then you probably bought that baby, out of impulse or, buyer's remorse. The other thing is ways that you can prevent from doing this. Take your time. If you have a dream baby or a wish list or whatever, and you find a baby that you like, um, don't just instantly buy it. Think about it. Be sure that it have the features that you're looking for, and you will have less likely the chance of having buyer's remorse. The one thing about this art that I do want to mention that is very important that a lot of people miss and fail to understand when it comes to these particular dolls. Now, when PCs and shoes and clothes is different. You can take it back to the store and you can return it with no problem, and they should come perfect. But when you're dealing with a piece of art, such as these handmade dolls, there's never gonna be a there's never gonna be a time there's never going to be a baby that's going to be absolutely perfect or to your liking unless you make it yourself. There's always going to be something that you might would change or might would have liked to have had differently. There's never, as much as I love Puck, there's something, or much as I love Jade, there is something. There's always going to be something that you know, give or take, but it shouldn't be something that you just can't live with. Um, I really think making a post in your Facebook group defining these terms would be extremely beneficial. Um, yes. And hey, Carolyn. Sorry. Thank you. And you want to do research and look at the babies as much as possible. And when I'm selling a baby, even as second market, especially when it comes to my more higher price dolls, like my silicone babies and stuff, I'm very particular and very careful with my hang on guys, give me 1 second. I just need to share this. I know that a lot of people are probably looking for this and I don't even know how to share it. Yeah, hang on. Never mind. Oh, if they find it, they find it. If not, they could look at it later. But I was gonna try to share the link because I know a lot of people probably got lost. But yeah, you want to do your research and stuff. But anyway, like I was saying, when I'm selling a baby, I'm very careful with my buyers for the most part. Of course, I'm not gonna completely sabotage a sale, but I am very honest because I'm a collector first, and I understand what it's like to be making an important purchase. And even when I sold Baby Rio, I was like, even down to the last minute, I was like, listen, I just want you to make sure you're sure. And once, don't worry. One of the other things is pressure. Buyer's remorse can come from being pressured into a sale. There's artists, like there was an artist that told me recently, um, I had looked at a baby and it's been within the last 6 months. And the lady was like, "Oh, you might want to hurry up because I have about 25 other people that are inquiring, not to rush you, but I have about 25 other people that have inquired about this baby, so I don't think she's going to stay for long if you really want her, blah, 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 blah." And it was like you're trying to say rush, 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 rush. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. I said, if I don't get her, it won't be meant. That means it's not meant to be, and I'm sure you'll have others in the future. Girl, what? You're not gonna pressure me. Like I've been doing this too long. You're not gonna rush me into a decision because what happened is when you hurry up and you do it, you're gonna end up. You may end up regretting it if it's not truly something you want. So don't worry about that. And don't worry about if you take up a lot of time with a person and then they turn around and they say you're a time waster. I don't care about the time wasting crap. For me, as a buyer, I don't care. I'd rather waste your time than to waste my money. On the flip side, as a seller, I'd rather you waste my time than waste my energy and then get the baby and then have issues. Because one thing that people do also with this art that is very wrong, and I had to tell somebody this in a personal message when they came to me for advice on something, is that, honey, buyer's remorse is something that you have to deal with. It's not the seller's responsibility to deal with your buyer's remorse. It's up to you to pay attention to what you're to pay attention to what you're buying, ask for pictures, know that, you're familiar with what you're getting. A lot of times I don't go through that as much because I make so many videos. People have so many references to look at my videos and see. So I've sold a lot of high-end babies without them even asking me for one picture. And that's perfectly okay. I have offered and they were like, no, don't worry about it. I'm familiar with your channel, and they did just fine. And then actually, that's when I sold Kingston. I never sent like pictures or anything, as well as Zoe and a couple other babies that I've sold, because they already just go to my channel and already see the baby. Um, so let me go to a few questions for a minute, and then I'm gonna go into um, a few more things. I wish I could save this. Um, and then some people I see buy and sell, buy and sell. Is that the same thing you think? Well, there are some people that buy low and sell high, so they're flipping dolls. And then there are some people that are actually they just want to see the dolls, and once they see them, yeah, it's not really exactly what they envision or what they wanted, so they sell the dolls. And I think that is actually really the best thing to do, only strictly because you can't blame the seller because it's not what you envision. And these sellers have taken their time to advertise, and they've taken all that down once they sell the baby to you. And for you to try to dump it back on them because having buyer's remorse, that is not fair, and it's definitely not ethical um, to do. So I don't think that that's the right protocol to take when you have buyer's remorse. And when I have buyer's remorse, I just resell the baby. I'm in class and I'm about to get in trouble on my phone. I'll watch this later. But great advice so far, honey. Thank you. Bye, Carolyn. I'm much not on much these days due to raising two granddaughters at such a time. And and I've had a custom portrait baby made of my daughter. She will be Christmas baby. Just had her artist tell me this morning that she has other people messaging her to making her offers not okay. But want to share you that um yes, Jessica Love. Hey, I love that name. So yes, pressured is best way to walk away. Um exactly. So how can they do a custom for you and get an offer on your custom? Unless you haven't put money down on it, that is like not right. And I wouldn't want to deal with the uh, the artist at that point. Um, so let me make sure that I want to make sure that I go over all the different things. And another thing is um, a lot of things that I see. A lot of times I see in a lot of times I see people dealing with when they do deals. Like right now, I have Jade up for adoption. She has a potential mommy, and I've been working closely with her. And I've been transparent and let her know that there is a couple other people that have been seriously inquiring about her as well, but not to pressure her. But I haven't really been strongly marketing her. But I'm very transparent with a lot of stuff because I don't want anyone to jump in a purchase like that without, knowing their limitations and, feeling comfortable with the purchase. Now, Amanda said, good opportunity to discuss spending limits as well. People have had remorse just because they realize how much they just spent and then they regret it. Important to have a spending limit. Um, so yes, so let's get into that a little bit, because that is a big, 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 big thing on buyer's remorse. I was afraid of that when the first time I went. I spent over 6 grand for a doll. I said, oh my gosh, I better love this doll. And when I got him, I was like kind of like wondering, like when he was in the post, when he was in the mail on his way to me, I was concerned. Like, am I going to like freak out? Like, am I going to regret it when he gets here? And a lot of times, if we go too far out of our comfort zone, that will make us, regret the purchase. But I'll be honest with you, when most of the time that I've sacrificed and sold dolls to make up for money that I was spending on a new baby, once how I deal with that is if the baby is like a really nice baby and well done, honestly, I don't regret it. But like I said, when I got the Anne Hung doll, um, I had buyer's remorse because I had expectations up to here and then it fell down here for me personally. And I'm just talking about my experiences. And the reason why, because it was a lot of stuff that people never discussed on their channel. They never said that the silicone isn't smooth. They never said that you have to powder the neck for it to turn. Like there was a lot of things that people never talked about. And all I thought was that the doll was going to be close to a Claire Taylor doll. And I thought the face was cute and everything, so I went for it. So that was kind of like a buyer's remorse thing. And that's when I looked at the money and I went like, for this money? Oh, heck no. Girl, what? So I did sell her for less too. That's another thing. A lot of times with me, and a lot of people won't do that, and I don't blame them. But for me, I have a problem with selling a doll for a price that I feel like is really not worth. Um, I've done it several times. I have a close friend that literally said, girl, if you don't want the baby, I'll get it. But guess what? Right out the gate, soon as I got the baby was overturned. And I think I dropped the price down like $200. It was a reborn. I think I dropped the price down almost $200 less than what I paid because I felt like that's what it really should have been worth. And so that's just me, but everybody can't stand to, take that loss like that. Um, but I think that especially too, another thing is not so much of preventing buyer's remorse, but just in case. Hey Cassandra, just in case I have buyer's remorse, I try to buy and invest in babies that resale value holds its place because that way, if I do get it and I'm not that particular about it, I'm not worried because I'm like, okay, well, I know I'll be able to sell it if that's the case. So that's another thing I do. I bought Kids and Pan for December. She's my baby, but she was like, "Are you sure you want her?" She made me to look like my daughter. Of course, I want her. Yes, and I think sometimes too, we like me. I think sometimes I might go and overkill caring about the person that's buying, and I may make them question their purchase because I'll keep asking them, "Are you sure?" And that's just because me personally, once I sell a baby, I'm not refunding you no money because I'm not going to send you damaged goods or anything like that. And I want to make sure that you're sure because the sales are final. You know what I mean? So, but a lot of people are not transparent in their sales and they'll do anything to get a sale. And this goes for artists. A lot of artists do this a lot. They will tell you anything, make you feel any type of way so that you will go through that purchase and they can get their money and then they don't care whether you like that baby or not. And also, another thing is that's where second market, when it comes into price, second market is great on that end if you have a trusted source. Because sometimes me, like my taste is higher than my pocket sometimes. And if I like a baby like a whole lot and I can get it second market less, then I might go less. And then I don't feel as bad because it's like, well, I didn't spend top dollar and I still got everything that I want. And I feel like I'm winning. So I feel good about that purchase after that. So a lot of people, and I know even me, I'm very cautious about second market. but there are some good sellers out here that I will buy from all day long second market. Like, I just, believe it or not, I actually did my second trade. I do not do trades often, but I did a trade. I did a trade with Chandler for Zoe. And let me tell you, when I tell you that I was 100% pleased, the baby was perfect. You know, it's like, okay, it was a very honest transaction. Um, do you think there's a thin line between buyer's remorse and not as described? No, no. It's totally two different things. Totally two different things because not as described. A lot of people, they like to blame the seller, but a lot of buyers, they be on this impulse thing and they just jump and buy and they don't ask questions, or they don't look at the pictures, they don't look at the videos, they don't look at a lot of stuff, and they miss stuff, and then they want to holler not as described. You know, like, I've seen pictures that people will send me and I'm like, you know, for instance, there was a doll silicone baby that just went up for sale. I'm not going to mention the name of the artist again because I don't want to keep beating that artist name into the ground. But the doll looked a hot mess. Even when she posted the pictures, I was appalled that she thought that this was okay to show this doll. Like I'm like, oh my God, like, is she serious? Going home to the mommy, and I'm like, what mommy approved those pictures? And when the buyer got it, and this was a Dolly friend on my page, got it and looked at it, and they got the doll in person. They was like, they was so shocked, and I'm like, well, I was hoping it looked better than the pictures, but you could see them in the pictures, and they was like, no, the pictures was fine. No, they wasn't. Zoom in, baby. That's what you use those fingers for. Zoom in. No, you didn't even have to zoom in, and you can see it. But sometimes we overlook a lot of stuff. Um, but it's a positive thing that you're over caring towards the buyer and not just see dollar signs by selling a baby. Yeah, Aquarius, I try. But you know what? Like I said, sometimes maybe I go overkill. Um, I mean, I've had a time where I wouldn't even sell a baby to a person because I didn't think it was going to be a good fit. And then I eventually sold it to him after they just kept being persistent and persistent about getting the baby. And she loved the baby, and I'm pretty sure she still have him up until this point. So it actually worked out, but I was in that overkill. Um, Good point. Maybe she's just trying to make sure I won't regret it later. Um, and Asha says, I wish babies cost less money. Like, bro, what the? Um, People try to pay less when your price is more than fair. Yeah. But so the price, like I said, the babies, they are very expensive, and I'll be honest, yeah, we're paying a whole lot right now than what we used to in the market. But technology's gotten a lot better. The sculpting is more realistic. It, the artists are putting a lot more into the babies now. The silicone feels better. Like, it's a lot of stuff that they can justify a lot of their costs. It is art, so you know people have wall pictures that cost $25,000 on their wall. You know what I mean? So we can't really say, but in my head, on a lower income, I can say that in my opinion, they're all overpriced for my price range, my budget, but yet I still will go out and buy them. Why? Because I buy what I want and what I like. And if I can see a way to get it and it's going to cost me happiness, then I'm good. Because what happens, like, there's a lot of people out here that are name brand chasers, or chasing, trying to keep up with the Joneses, as some of us know that saying, trying to keep up with the next person or one up the next person, and they don't even know what they're buying, don't even like it as much as they claim. And what happens is when the camera goes off, that doll pretty much sits and collect dust, and they never look at it, or even sometimes they get it because they're trying to get something and they just don't like it, and they never And to me, I personally, if you got enough money that you could just buy things and let it just sit and collect dust, that's fine and dandy. I'm not knocking you on that. But for me, I need to feel like I'm enjoying what I paid my money on. And that's why I make the sacrifices. And when I sacrifice, I mean, like, I don't sacrifice my lights and water. I sacrifice another doll for another doll. And I do that because I thoroughly enjoy my dolls, each and every one of them. I've had very few that I did not like. Um, I'll tell you once before, I promise you, I did have buyer's remorse, and I did buy off of name. I did buy name brand. I was buying because I really wanted a doll by this particular artist, and when I had the opportunity, I jumped on it. Didn't even go through my normal, thought process. I just bought it, and I was at the doll show, at the Rose Doll Show, the first time I went. And I really just didn't like the proportions of the doll, but I really liked the painting. And I always wanted a doll from this particular artist, but I didn't give it much thought that I wasn't very fond of the sculpt. I just wanted to have a baby by that artist because I liked the painting, and I really liked the painting. And I bought it, got it home. After a couple days, I kept looking at it, and it drove me insane. I bought like 6 different bodies to get the body halfway decent to like it. And then, I kept it because it became an important part of my channel. And it was just a lot of different things. But eventually I did have to sell that doll. What do you think about sellers who hound buyers repeatedly about how to take care of a doll? Hang on 1 second. Hang on, Marie. Let me see what you said here. One lady told me 150 was too much for a doll. I paid 600. Oh my gosh, crazy. Hey, Gianna's baby girl, reborn. Thank you. um, yeah, people will try to beat you down on price, and that's another thing. I will take my time and hold a doll and sell it to the right buyer come along, because if you just can't afford the particular baby, or you can tell me all day long that you think it's not worth it. I don't really care. Because at the end of the day, I know what my dolls are worth, and I'm not going to give it away. Because if I had to pay for it, you're going to have to pay for it too. If I want to give something away, I'll do a giveaway, and that'll be that. But if I got it up for sale, that means I want it sold. And that means sold mean for money. So yeah. And I used to say that you get what you pay for isn't always true. It does have its wiggle room in there. It's not never black and white with that saying, but a lot of times you do. And that's another thing with buyer's remorse. A thing is about me that people think I'm not a silicone baby or reborn baby snob. If I buy a baby from a newer artist, which I am looking at a few of them, that I like babies, I'm not expecting them to be on Claire Taylor's level. So I'm not going to get the baby and just start judging it off of the level of Jade, or, some of my other babies that I've had. I'm going to be like, okay, I'm going to base that baby off its own price range and category and what my purpose is. Because there are times where I have um wanted to buy a lesser expensive silicone baby just for like bathing videos and all that stuff, and just whatever, just do other stuff with. And so I wouldn't expect it to be like some extreme thing, but I am not going to pay top dollar for a doll and it's not top dollar quality, or you know what I mean, the look. um And Jordan said, people don't appreciate the time and cost and supplies, etc., that goes in reborn and silicone dolls. Absolutely. They really don't. They don't. I think a lot of people don't understand it. That's number one. They just really don't understand what it actually costs to make these dolls. So that is basically like my thought process on buyer's remorse. And I think, like I said, the main way to prevent it is not to buy on impulse and to not buy something based off of someone else likes or wants. And also, if you're on social media, don't let people um, discourage you from getting something that you want because they just want you to have a lesser doll, or they don't want you to um, have what they have or have more than what they have. It goes on a lot. I'm going to do another video at a later date on some things. But right now, I don't want to really get too deep into some topics because I feel like it's going to take a whole video for some of these other topics. Um, but buyer's remorse is something that I've seen that's been going on. And I really think that people really um, don't talk about it enough. And I think that, you really have to understand that buyer's remorse and not as described is so different. If you show me a picture of a baby and this baby have a head full of hair on the picture and I get it and it's got a whole bald spot on the side or in the back, or you know what I mean, or it's missing an eyebrow or nipple or whatever on the doll, and you don't tell me that, um, that's not as described. That's a problem. That's a defect. Then yeah, I need to talk to the seller about that, and you're gonna get this baby back, and So, oh my goodness, I forgot. Crapola. Oh, it's here, but I don't know where. Hang on, guys. My battery's going dead. Ooh. All right, got it. Sorry. I was like, and that's probably why it was getting so dark. I was like, so my battery was actually dying on me. So yeah, so here we go. Let's see. I sold my reborn for my grandfather's stroke, but he died. Um, hey Tanika. Um, I'm so glad I made a live. Missing most of your lives. I am actually wanting to do a lot more of my live streams because it's easier for me, believe it or not, even though I had technical difficulties. And like I said, I'm using new software, so I gotta figure out how to do this because this is not gonna work. I can't like advertise my lives if I advertise one and I'm on another. So I'm gonna have to work on that. I'll figure it out after this live stream. But I'm definitely like doing more of these live streams because I can actually, talk to you guys and engage in a conversation when it's a topic so, you know, um, I don't know how to say it. It's a discussion topic. It's not something that I would like to just put out in video and then go back and read comments because, I'd rather like see us really dig into it and get what other people are saying. So yeah, a lot of people make sacrifices for their, with their dolls and with their babies. And bye, Aja. Um, but yeah, you know, it's whatever you feel comfortable with. But like I said, again, my whole thing is just you really, 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 really want to try to prevent buyer's remorse. But I don't know that in this particular hobby itself that we can actually prevent it all the time because you just never know how you're gonna feel until you actually get the baby. So, but there are a few things that you can help you um, eliminate, the risk of that. Because like I said, sometimes it's our own fault. We're on an impulse thing, and yeah. Um, but again, just think about it. If you, my thing is if you walk away from it, you don't buy it the first day you see it for sale, and then 2 days later you're still thinking about it, 3 days later you're still thinking about it, then you're probably not going to have buyer's remorse. That's probably something that you really want. But I've had people buy, pay, and then ask me to refund them because a child purchased a doll, or so they say. You know, people will, and that's another thing. People will buy. Now, I don't like to deal with the um I hate when people talk about time wasters and all this. Come on, guys. We're spending a lot of money. So yeah, I tell people straight off. This is one of the things that I've told you guys this for years now. This is one of the things that I say to, like, especially silicone artists, even reborn artists. When I contact them, one of the first things I say is, I have to ask all my questions up front. I'm not a hard buyer. Don't be alarmed. I'm not someone that's going to have buyer's remorse, because I'm going to ask you all a lot of questions right now, and once we're done, we're done. And that's how I do that. And I am not a fast buyer. I don't always buy the first day. There are times I buy the first day, and there's a lot of times I've never regretted it. But but it's like you um but people will say, oh, they're a time waster because they asked a lot of questions, they asked for pictures, and then they decided they didn't want it. The only time I have a problem is that, now, if you pay and I'm getting ready to ship or something like that, and then you want to say something, I'm kind of like, okay, now we got a problem. But once that money exchange hands, that's it for me. The sale is final for me. But past that, up until that point, if you stop, then my way of it is that I know a lot of people don't feel that way. They want to get the sale done. My thing is that I don't want to deal with the headache, the after effect, because I've seen people do stuff. I've even told people, like, I've canceled sales because if they keep wavering with me and saying, oh, but what about this and all this and what about that, and oh, are you sure it's this, and let me see this, and can you that, and blah, I'll say, you know what, baby, I don't think this is a baby for you. So I'll end that transaction. Seriously. That is another reason why I try not to sell babies when I'm destitute. Um, don't drink wine and look at babies. Oops. And then Rain Firewater said, yes, the time wasters blast make me think twice about even inquiring. Um, it's a big purchase, and sometimes I feel like if I ask one question and don't buy, it's a problem. Um, and that's the thing, like, guess what? I want pictures. I want to know, you know, what it is exactly that I'm buying. Okay? And that's another thing. I've sent, like, a few people that inquired, the people that were seriously inquiring about Jade, and they asked, like, for pictures. I send pictures in from my phone, and then regular pictures, just so they can see the different contrasts, and hopefully they can get a better idea of the way she looks, in person. But it's very hard on camera. And I'll be honest to say that I have wants to buy a baby that looked identical to the screen picture. Um, but for the most part, they usually look very close or better in person. Because, of course, in cameras, you can't pick up all the veining and the mottling and stuff like that sometimes. So, yeah. But honesty is the best policy. I think if you're dealing with someone that's very honest, you shouldn't have a problem. I think if you're buying because it's something that you genuinely want, and you're not going off of trying to get the most popular doll or trying to, one up somebody or something like that, buyer's remorse is a little bit lesser on that, of you, having that issue, in my opinion. And said, Oh my gosh. Oh man, you have 48K subs. I only have zero. You a mini Nicki Minaj. Ah, not quite. I have her money. Never buy a surprise baby unless you really know the true artist. Don't move on my part. Yeah, I wouldn't buy a surprise baby from an artist that I never seen work in person or did business with. That just wouldn't happen. I've had surprise babies, but only by artists that I truly trusted and enjoy work. Um, and I just had to send extra pics for a baby I'm selling on eBay, and that's fine. I do the same. Another reason I ask for something is because I want to get a feel for the seller's personality. And yeah, you do. Because if you're snappy with me about everything I ask you, I don't want to deal with you because that means you're going to be a raw bee if anything goes wrong. And I just don't. I know I've dealt with some artists that personally I don't necessarily want to be their friend, but on a professional level, we could just keep it business and keep it moving, and that's great and dandy. But I'm not trying to be friends. You know what I mean? And sometimes I found that not being friends is better for me anyway, because that way, if I have an issue, I don't have to worry about your feelings because this is business. I'm going to treat you just like your Walmart or Target, JC Penney's, whatever, y'all dealers, whatever y'all shop. You know what I mean? I'm gonna treat you like straight professional, and I don't have to worry about like, oh girl, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. So yeah, um, absolutely, honest sellers is the best policy, and as a seller, we in return want honest buyers. Yes. Signing off for now. Thanks for being you. See you later, Val. How do I keep the paint when I'm painting a doll, not to be so like spotting and go on evenly. I don't really. All I can tell you is just you're supposed to use your sponges and to smooth the paint out. But I don't. Like I said before, I really don't know how to tell people how to paint because I'm still kind of learning myself. I mean, I do pretty decent, but I'm not like a guru at it. I kind of wing it and go as I go. I do know the important things of how to bake it long enough so that you're not losing paint after you get a baby from me. But as far as the techniques go and all that, I'm not one of the fancy gurus. I agree. Friends are friends, and transactions should be kept what it is, business. Yes. And with that being said, that will end the buyer's remorse part, guys. I hope that you guys enjoy this topic. I'm hoping that we can, link up and do more, maybe luncheon chats, evening chats. I have a lot of different topics that I would love to discuss. Um, I won't give you guys a list of them because I would like to be able to talk about them before somebody else go ahead and eat my topic alive. Um, so, like I said, but I do want to end on this note, and you guys know every time I say I'm going, Amanda, I never really fully go. It's always like 5-10 minutes later because I'm a talker. Um, and yes, I'm gonna do evening. Mostly I do evening. Just the lunch chats is something that I just felt like I really wanted to jump in there and talk about. But I really want to say to you guys that number one, um, my main thing and advice to you guys as far as avoiding, buyer's remorse is be very confident in your purchase. Be confident in that you made the right choice for you. And when it comes to the judging part, because I see that happen to a lot of people on um, a lot of people on the social media, because there's a lot of competition out here. There's a lot of people that don't like other people, and then they want to they it's just crazy. So my thing is, be confident in who you are. Be confident in your purchase. If you love that baby, then you love that baby. Don't let nobody tear you down and make you feel like you should be feeling any other way than what you feel. Um, Loving My Reborn Dolls asks, do you think the value of the doll should be based on how many times it has been adopted out, because it's no longer second hand, it's third, fourth, fifth hands? Okay. So, I'm gonna go ahead and address this topic. That question. And yes and no. When you're buying these dolls, understand that at the end of the day, they are collectible items, and in any other world other than the doll world, collectible items value tend to go up based off of the rarity. The harder they are to be found, the more sought after they are. So, if it's, let's say, a Loreley Eagles Everlay, you hardly ever see that kit come available. And let's say there's one that's beautifully painted by your favorite artist, but she's been bought by 3 different high-end collectors. And when I say high-end, I mean that they take care of their babies and that they buy nothing but usually the best. It doesn't really matter. It's the main part is that they take care of their babies. So let's say mommy number 1 kept it in a glass shelf. She sold it. Mommy number 2 displayed it in a crib, in a princess crib, and she changed the clothes a couple times or whatever. And then mommy number 3 got it, and she did videos a few times on her channel and decided that she wanted to sell it because she felt like she spent too much money for it. Now she wants to sell it. Now it sold for 1,500 originally, 1,800 the second time, 1,200 the third time, and now the third seller want to sell it for 1,500 or 1,200. It's going to be up to you to know if it's worth it, or if the value, if it's been well taken care of. Does it still look like the first very original pictures? That's what you want to look at. The price is going to vary. Now, if it's been rubbed through the mill and now it's got a cut on the upper lip, it's got a few scratches, the pinky toe is missing paint, H to the no. I'm not gonna pay you $1,800, nor am I gonna pay you $1,500, and nor are you gonna get the $1,200 that you paid, because now the doll has issues. So now, third mommy, wear and tear comes into play, and now you're gonna probably get about $800, if that makes sense. I hope that answers the question, because it's very complex, because there are times like with silicone babies, they go through a couple of mommies, but they can still be in, like when I got my Zoe, I was the third owner. Okay, she was 2 years old. She was like in pristine condition. She was fabulous. Um, I later seen her go to. She went to a fourth mommy, then a fifth mommy, and then when she went to the fifth mommy, and then the sixth mommy, and then I saw her on eBay and it was talking about something with her lips or something or her mouth. That wasn't how I got her, and that wasn't how I sent her off. So, it's like at that point the value go down. So it's basically the in the condition of the doll. It doesn't matter about, I guess it wouldn't really necessarily matter about the amount of mommies it's had. It's the condition of the doll. Um, so I'm hoping, did I answer that question? Loving my reborn dolls. And yes, less people at lunchtime. So yeah, we will definitely do that. I am so outdone though, guys. I'm gonna be like, so you guys might see me pop on and stuff because it's gonna be me um trying to fix my video, but think I think I'll figure it out. Okay, good deal. Um and it depends on, like, if do it travel with its originals and this and that. Like there's a lot of stuff, and then oh gosh, we'll have to get into that a whole nother video. We'll talk about the originals and stuff like that because yeah. And the thing is that going off of if you've ever seen the doll being played with, because I've bought babies that the collectors claim they never play with their dolls or whatever, and the doll definitely had been played with. You know what I mean? Like, or I know people that have told me in private, oh, and sent me pictures of all these clothing changes and all this and stuff, and showed me that they interact with their dolls, but then they'll do videos and say, oh, I never, do this with my doll, or I never do that. Or they enjoy bath time with their babies, but then they come on their video and say, I never bathed my dolls before. So I you really can't go off of that. That's why you need detailed pictures and stuff like that to make sure it's okay. Because these collectors, they lie. And a lot of the a lot of people want to say this stuff because not to bash Doll Fan or anything, but a lot of the ladies on Doll Fan are like kind of a little bit on the more snobby side. I hate to say that. Like I love the ladies on there, but some of us would call them like the doll snobs. Like they make it seem like it's a sin to play with the dolls. So a lot of people like to pretend that they don't play with their dolls or say they don't do this or they just do this and they do that because um it just I don't know, I guess it just makes them feel like they're a better um collector or they're better than everybody else or to me it just makes me look at them like why spend the money? Like everybody collects differently, and don't get me wrong. If I got money, if I'm just pooping out thousands of dollars, and that's fine, and I can just spend $20,000 and sit something in the shelf, then that's fine. But I personally want to enjoy my babies. I know people frown about. It. They say, "Oh, don't give your babies baths. They don't do this, don't do that." Let me tell you something. If I spend over 5K, if I spend over 2K on a dog, I'm gonna enjoy it. Now, I have yet to give Puck a bath. I think Jade has maybe had been rinsed off twice since I had her with just plain water. But I don't like bathe them all the time, but it doesn't matter. If that's what you choose to do and you spent your money, then by all means, yes, you should definitely do it. So I think that, for me, it doesn't make me look at you like you're better or less, whatever you do with your dolls, because they're your dolls. You know what I mean? Um, right, exactly. To me, if you're happy playing with your dolls, fine. If you don't, fine, but don't lie to me. Yeah, and that's the thing. A lot of people, they're just not really completely honest about a lot of stuff. And so I try to be transparent. I'm not perfect, you know, but I try to tell you guys the way, what it is. If it's something that I don't want to talk about, I'm not going to bring it up. You know what I mean? If I can, because I'm one of those people, I'll say, oh, I'm not going to tell them this, or I'm not going to talk about this. But if I'm talking about something and you guys like ask me, I have a hard time trying to leave stuff out or not disclose this or that. It's very hard for me. So that's that. I think there's a difference between a doll collector and a lover of dolls. Absolutely. And there's different type of collecting styles. And there's also a doll collector and a reborn and doll mommy. Like we have that tag going one time. Are you a doll collector or a doll mommy? You know, and I don't. However, you have to acquire a baby that you want is your personal preference, your personal choice. It's nobody's business how you pay for your doll. If you spend your money through payments, credit card, cash, if you, like I said, if you're spending on stilettos at night, stripping on a strip pole to get your dolls, whatever you need to do and you want to do and you feel comfortable doing it, then that is on you. That has nothing to do with nobody on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, doll fan, nowhere, social media, in your personal life either. That is your business. And that's the problem with a lot of these ladies. They're so concerned about everybody else when they need to be cleaning up their own backyard. But that's a whole nother chat. And like I said, I don't want to get into too much of everything because we're going to have a lot more chats coming up. Trust me. And we're going to have a lot of fun and we're going to get to talk about this stuff openly and freely. And I'm also going to be soliciting you guys feedback from me. So it's just that everyone does not take care of their dolls the same, even though it might look like that sometimes. Everybody home is different, if you know what I mean. Yes. That's like no offense to those that who do smoke cigarettes, but that's like the cigarette smokers. If you don't disclose that when you're selling me a doll and that doll comes and it has that cigarette smell to it, the clothes, the doll, I can wash the clothes, but if it's in the cloth of the body or the silicone and I can't get it out, we got a problem. You know, it's like, yes, so housekeeping can play a part. It's like a lot of different things that goes on. I've heard of all kinds of things. I've had people send stuff to me before with cat hair all over it and, just all different types of things. So, yeah, I'm just not the one that I'm very particular. That's all I can say. I had a seller told me I was being cheap because of payments. No, you're paying it because that's how you need to be able to do it. That's the way you can afford it. And some people are not clean. You know, that's the beauty of the silicone babies, though, guys. I will say that if they take care of their dolls and everything, and let's say, you know, I don't know, the scent of the perfume on the clothes, whatever, you can take those clothes off, wash it. When you get your baby, you can rinse your baby off. You can even put a little bit of Johnson and Johnson in there, and voila, you got you a brand new baby. So I do like that about Second Market. And every time I buy a silicone baby, most of the time, I do the whole rinse thing. Um, but uh, so I've been on here for a while, and I am gonna go ahead and go. um, but guys, I do appreciate you guys again. Let me know. Um, you can PM me or whatever if there's some discussions that you would like for us to have in an open forum on my platform. Please, feel free to PM me that, and I will have those discussions. I want to talk about a lot of stuff freely and openly. And like I said, don't be alarmed if you guys see me come back on with, if you see me come back on, because I'm be playing with this, trying to figure out how to get this thing to link up with the scheduled event that I've set. Um, and one last thing, and I'm going to say this, one last thing. This is one thing that I do want you guys to take with you. And I forgot how it goes. But a lot of people speak about, people in their circle. Don't be so concerned. There's a lot of people in our circle. If you really want to think about it, in my opinion, because we're all into the dolls in all industry, we're all in the same circle. But it's the people that's in your corner. You want to separate those because when you're getting advice from people, everybody don't have your best interest, and you just want to really, 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 really follow your own heart. That's the main thing. So, love you guys, and we'll see you the next time. And let me see. Oh, uh, no, don't do it. Okay, bye, guys. I can't do all the things that I want to do. I can't. I hate it. Um.